Good evening, you're watching Estuary News. Coming up, we head over to Hull and a school looking to make a #1 hit, and we go to the shops to find out if you're ready for Christmas. And my guests tonight are Mark Elliott, a volunteer at the Grimsby and Cleethorpes Rucksack Project, and Dave Carlisle from Harbour Place.
Hull and East Yorkshire Hospitals NHS Trust is currently reporting a deficit of £16.9 million, with the difference between income and outgoings for Northern Lincolnshire and Gould's NHS Trust standing at £14.64 million. It comes as hospitals across our region are recruiting overseas nurses to ease costs and staff shortages. Scunthorpe Hospital has been on a recruitment drive for nurses. They tell us that a national shortage means they have to recruit overseas to maintain good standards of patient care.
It's a national problem. Nurses are actually on the occupational shortage list, which means for the whole of the UK there's an acute shortage of nurses. We do many events locally to try and attract nurses, and we've recently recruited over 50 local nurses into the trust. However, there's just not enough. So we have to go overseas to ensure that our patients continue to get the best care.
The route of the 2016 Tour de Yorkshire has been revealed. The race starts on the 29th of April in Beverley and will end on the 1st of May in Scarborough. Last year's inaugural race was watched by an estimated 1 million people and brought 50 million into the region's economy. The event was launched after Yorkshire hosted the Tour de France Grand Depart in 2014. Elsewhere, rail journeys across Yorkshire and the Humber will undergo the biggest transformation in decades, thanks to an unprecedented package of improvements being delivered in new franchise deals. The government announced today a £1.2 billion boost to rail services across the north will include 500 brand new modern carriages, room for 40,000 more passengers, thousands more services and a host of improvements aiming to deliver a modern 21st century passenger experience. And with Christmas around the corner, Hull and Humber Chamber of Commerce is urging us to buy local. With an ongoing increase in the number of people buying online, they say it's important to support local businesses, which in turn benefits the local economy.
A lot of the firms have competition from the internet now. A lot of people are doing their Christmas shopping online to save the going into the shops. But we would urge people to use their local shops and keep the town centres busy. You know, we've done stories through the year about struggling city centres and town centres. So, you know, if people actually go and spend the money locally, it's better than doing it online.
And that's the latest from the news.
The Christmas #1 spot may be synonymous with some of the biggest names in the music industry, but can a group of school pupils from Hull top the charts? Erica caught up with them to find out how they created a record in record time.
3, Houston, 4, 20 seconds to LOS T-Dress. 4,
you got speed.
Roger, go for deploy. 4.
Can a group of youngsters from Hull take the music industry by storm? That's the hope of Archbishop Centimore Academy. They've teamed up with the non-profit record label New School Music to create a song with a big vision to raise money for charity while soaring to the Christmas #1 spot. The youngsters aged from 13 to 16 teamed together, from laying down the vocals and instruments to choreographing their very own music video, all of which they did in just 8 days.
I will make it better, I will lift you up, I'll hold it all together, 'cause through it all, we move as one.
Part of it was kind of showing what talents we had within the school and what we do have within Hull. The whole thing's just been amazing.
I think it's just been life-changing. It's definitely a kickstart to both of our careers. We've experienced things that not all kids in Hull get to experience, or in England really.
And their efforts didn't go unnoticed. They were even invited, along with producer Chris Cooper, to Abbey Road Studios in London for the final mastering of the track.
And it was completely different. Instead of having music in front of me, I was just doing it off. I was just improvising, doing what we thought would be good, and we just sort of laid up lots of different tracks. So yeah, it was a very different experience to what I'm used to. I expressed what I wanted to in the track. Instead of having to say, right, you have to play this bit, I could just do whatever I wanted.
It was a struggle at first, but it felt like she can trust in me. She's got like faith that I can do this and I'll be able to produce a good piece. And it felt a good opportunity to be asked to do this. I am just like delighted of the outcome, what I've done.
And film and media teacher Carly Ager says it's about giving youngsters the chance to apply skills outside of a classroom setting.
A lot of what we do in school is emulating real life, and that's what it is. It's just an emulation. We wanted to give these kids an experience which was real world relatable. Yeah. Incredibly proud, beyond proud. They work so hard and they deserve some success with this. They really, really do.
While New School Music is hoping to roll this model out across other schools, it seems these kids are simply over the moon that they get to be part of something special. Erica Barker, Estuary TV.
We have many homeless people still in our towns and cities, sadly, but happily there are many organisations to help them. The Rucksack Project is one. It's a worldwide movement to help those sleeping rough on the streets during the winter months. To explain more, local volunteer Mark Elliott and Dave Carlisle from Harbour Place in Grimsby, which caters for these vulnerable members of society. Gentlemen, thank you both very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Mark, just to tell me, what is it that the Rucksack Project does?
We take out rucksacks, obviously, which are full of sleeping bags, warm clothing, say a hat, scarves, gloves, toiletries, which are vitally important to keep the dignity of these people okay. Probably a torch or something like that.
Well, you've brought one of the rucksacks along.
Yes.
Well, have a look at a few of the things that are inside. We've got, just at the top here, we've got, yes, torch. Entry into a stately home? National Trust?
No, it's a keep warm.
Right. It's a
fleece bag.
A fleece bag, okay.
Yes.
Little first aid kit, soap, as you said. A torch is very important because it's frightening out on the streets at night. Mm-hmm. Emergency shelter?
Yes. Tents we sometimes use as well. It's not strictly the legal, but it's just to keep.
It's better than dying of hypothermia.
It is, yeah.
Okay. And in the sort of main part of the rucksack, warm clothes.
Warm clothes. Sleeping bags are always welcome.
A towel and things like that.
Towel, something like that. Probably a pair of boots even.
Really? Okay.
Yes. Anything to keep the chill out.
It's not a comfortable lifestyle, but at least it keeps you from real danger of being outside in the winter.
Until we can get these people into accommodation. It's, the first emergency, and it's entirely voluntarily run. We don't accept cash donations, and it was started in 2009 by a guy called Matthew. He went out Christmas shopping and said, noticed a few rough sleepers, and he thought, I've got £12 in my pocket, do I go out and buy some tat? Or do I go out and buy a rucksack? So he went across to the YMCA, spent the £12 on bits and pieces, went home, picked out a few tins he had with ring pulls, went back, and the effect was amazing. And you can catch it with the project on rucksack.org, and there's a little film on there that you can watch, and you can get involved in that way. And we've got the local rucksack, Grimsby and Cleethorpes Rucksack Project.
And Dave, I guess that's the other end of the process, whereas when people are trying to get accommodation or at least be sleeping indoors for a night or so, that's where you come in.
It is. Last year, the Rucksack Project contacted Harbour Place to see if we could do with any rucksacks and any other sleeping aids for people on the street. We were quite grateful for those because at that time we had very few. We have 2 outreach workers at Harbour Place now. At one point we never used to have any, but we now have 2 who work continually on the streets, getting people into accommodation. For those who can't get into accommodation, for whatever reason that might be, things like this are really, really vital to us. So we're eternally grateful for that. It is a big help to us. and the rucksacks that's collected at Christmas by this organisation does really help us throughout the year. It's tremendously helpful. So not just for people who are sleeping rough on the streets, but also for people who may be sofa surfing, stopping at a friend's house who don't have a bed. Some of the houses are often colder than they are on the streets, and so, you know, very often they'll come to us and ask to take a sleeping bag.
Just a sleeping bag and a toothbrush makes an enormous amount of difference, I guess.
It does. Yeah, I mean, if you can imagine yourself what it's like to sleep on the street. We experience it most years. We have the Sleep Easy project run through the YMCA, which Harbour Place supports, and which we'll be doing again in January. That gives you some idea, but not the real feel for it.
Not if you know that tomorrow you can go back to your own bed. That's not the same sensation at all. Okay, gentlemen, we'll talk about that a little bit more after the break, and we'll come back to that. Join me then when we find out if the people of North East Lincolnshire are ready for Christmas, whoever is, and we'll bring you all the latest local sports news. Welcome back, you're watching Estuary News. Still to come, we find out if the people of North East Lincolnshire are ready for Christmas, and we'll have all the latest local sports news. Still with me in the studio are Mark Elliott and Dave Carlisle, talking about the Rucksack Project to provide some sort of comfort for people sleeping rough. Dave, how big a problem is it? How many people are there?
The official count or estimate that North East Lincolnshire Council, along with the other homeless agencies, found just recently, was roughly between 6 and 8, but that's on one particular night, and that's only the people we knew at that time who were sleeping rough. That figure goes up and down throughout the year, but there is always a constant figure of number of people who are sleeping rough.
But there's the rough sleeping, but there's also people who are homeless.
Yeah.
Not necessarily sleeping on the streets, but still without a bed they can call their own.
Yeah, there are a large number of sort of hidden homeless, people who are stopping at friends' houses, people who are probably stuck in relationships that can't get out of the relationships and move on because they've got nowhere to live. That is quite a large number, and the majority of people who come into Harbour Place will have been sofa surfers or are sofa surfers. Harbour Place has about 50 people a day on average coming into the day centre, all who will have been at one time or another homeless. And in fact, last year, 2014, it's the first time that we've had more homeless and people in temporary accommodation as new clients than people who have some sort of stable accommodation.
Mark, the Rucksack Project seems like such a brilliant idea. How's it been going? What's been coming in?
We managed to fill close on 300 rucksacks for distribution, and those are going out as we speak to various organisations. We do have a sister organisation called Still Human, which is out on the East Coast, so the East Coast community of Lincolnshire as well. So they're recipients as well. We're also hoping to get a Rucksack Project into Lincoln as well. Hull has its own, Scunthorpe has its own. So it's just a case of linking up to different organisations such as YMCA, Harbour Place, and any other organisations who would like to get in touch. And we'd also like to make contact with businesses who could probably make a contribution, but not cash, please.
No, not cash, because you're not a registered charity, and so there's a sort of legal distinction there as well.
Yes, we're an organisation, purely voluntary organisation. You know, the volunteers, you know, probably in the tens, but we've got more and more coming along. And if anyone wants to volunteer, get in touch with Roger Bentley through the Grimsby and Cleethorpes Rucksack organisation.
Okay.
Roger is the one who set it up, and is an absolute dynamo.
All right. And if people do want to volunteer, what can they expect to be doing? Very, very quickly, I'm afraid.
Fill rucksacks, you know, if you can get a few things together in the supermarket, it's not going to cost a lot.
No, and get them distributed.
Yes.
Gentlemen, thank you both so very much for coming in.
Thank you.
There's just over a fortnight to go until Christmas, and with only 2 more weekends left, the high streets will no doubt be heaving with shoppers. Are you ready for Christmas? We asked the people shopping in North East Lincolnshire.
I haven't even started. No.
I'm getting some each week, so I'm on my way now.
I have, and I'm going to my daughter's for Christmas, so I've got no preparing to do.
Nearly. Just going through the last few bits.
Yeah, all organised.
No, haven't started. That's it.
Joining me as usual for a daily look at the news, Erica Barker. Erica, what have you got?
I'm going to start off then. Humberside Police are currently trying to locate a missing 20-year-old Hull man. This is Jason Norfolk. Jason was reported missing at 3:37 p.m. on Sunday, December the 6th, after being last seen by friends in the early hours of the same day in Hull City Centre following a night out. CCTV inquiries identified Jason walking along Liberty Lane towards the direction of the High Street at 1:16 a.m. Now, he's described as white, 5 foot 8 inches tall with a slight build and has mousy coloured short hair, but his hair was sprayed silver for the night. He was last seen wearing a fancy dress outfit, including a blue blazer with the British Paralympics 1992 on the breast pocket. So everyone is very, very concerned, very worried, and anyone with any information is being urged to contact Humberside Police.
Excellent. OK, let's hope he's found.
That brings me on to another appeal. 12 months after the unexplained disappearance of a Bridlington man, this is Damien Vernon. An appeal is being made for anyone who knows what happened to him to come forward. Officers investigating the case completed all lines of inquiry in June 2015, and since that time nothing new has materialised. Now, on the anniversary of Damien's disappearance, a senior investigating officer in the case has issued an appeal for anyone who knows anything about Damien to come forward. Damien from Headlands Close, Bridlington, was 32 years old when he was last seen, and he was reported missing at around 5:30 on Tuesday, December the 9th. Last year, having been last seen the previous day, he's reported to have travelled to Wakefield on Monday the 8th of December in a blue Vauxhall Corsa. So with that one as well, anyone with any information to contact the police.
And if they're still investigating a year on, I guess that means there's hope.
Yes, yes. I'm going to move on to the next story then within the Grimsby Telegraph. Now, the amount of money being made by North East Lincolnshire Council from parking charges and fines has dropped by nearly half in a year. So in 2013-14 it was 949,000, for 2014-15 figures it was 527,000.
Does that imply that the people of North East Lincolnshire are parking much more carefully and legally now?
Well, the Grimsby Telegraph are saying that they have looked into this, and there are a number of parking meters that haven't been working, that the council has been trying to fix 12 broken parking machines out of 54 in Grimsby and Cleethorpes, and work is still ongoing with that, I think, and these figures are from the RAC Foundation's annual reports into local authority income from parking.
Can 12 broken parking meters account for hundreds of thousands of pounds of uncollected parking tolls?
Who knows? Who knows if people are choosing to park in other places, or if that is a contributing factor. I don't know, but the amount of money they are making is going down.
OK. What's next?
So residents speak of shock after large-scale disturbance and 3-hour standoff with police, leading to 4 people being arrested in Grimsby. This is within the Grimsby Telegraph. A 22-year-old man suffered what has been described by police as nasty facial injuries in the incident. Now, detectives from Humberside Police are appealing for witnesses following the disturbance outside the Jubilee Inn in St Nicholas Drive near Rybers Way. God, that's a mouthful for me. At around 11:30 p.m. on Sunday night. The disturbance is believed to have involved 3 men and 2 women, and the Grimsby Telegraph understands that the police were called by staff at the pub after an initial altercation escalated. So once again, anyone with any information on that one to come forward.
Okay, the Humberside Police have been having a busy old time recently, haven't they?
They have indeed. This is an awful story.
Very, very quick, Erica.
Okay, so vandals trashed a classroom and Christmas gifts at Belfield Primary School in Hull.
Horrible.
Smashing up a classroom, boxes filled with Christmas things, everything.
Erica, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Time now for the sports news.
Alex Bruce is likely to be sidelined for around 4 weeks with the back injury picked up in the weekend defeat at Leeds, according to Hull City's official site. It means Bruce is set to miss the Tigers' festive fixture schedule, but may be back in time for the home game against Cardiff City in mid-January. And Ahmed Al-Mohammadi has admitted to the site that next Saturday's home game against Bolton Wanderers is a big one as the Tigers look to get back on track after a disappointing couple of weeks, having returned from the last international break as the Championship leaders. Steve Bruce's side have tumbled from top spot down to 4th place and have lost their last 2 matches. And Iron attacker Gary McSheffrey has undergone surgery on a knee injury. The problem ruled him out of last Saturday's away FA Cup clash at Leyton Orient. Elsewhere, Greg Orley's second half strike was enough to earn the Tigers under-21s a point from a 1-1 draw with Leeds United at the KC Stadium on Monday night. And Grimsby Town's reserves are in the final 3rd Development League action on Wednesday, facing Notts County at Blundell Park. And Liam Salter can make a Hull KR centre spot his own in 2016 if he improves his attacking record. That's according to coach Chris Chester in today's Hull Daily Mail. The academy graduate has been rewarded with the number 3 jersey for next term. 22-year-old Liam found himself thrust into action more than anticipated this year with Daryl Golding's retirement. Well, if you have a story, you can contact us on 01472 315561. But until next time, goodbye.
That's it for tonight. If you have a news story for us, then please visit our Facebook or Twitter pages. Details on the screen, or email news@estuary.tv, or telephone Grimsby 01472 31553. Until tomorrow, good evening.
Estuary TV weather, sponsored by Rix Petroleum, your local family-owned heating oil supplier this winter.
Hello and welcome to Estuary TV's weather. Staying breezy during Thursday with sunny spells, especially across northern parts. The odd shower is possible, but these may turn wintry over the hills and a maximum temperature of 10 degrees. And the outlook for Friday will be windy, although feeling colder with some sunshine and blustery showers.
Rix, servicing the region's oil boilers this winter from a name you can trust. Get in touch at rix.co.uk or call us on 01482 838383.